the poisonous apple tree. In a serene village nestled between rolling mountains stood an ancient apple tree unlike any other. Uh, its fruits were bright and alluring, catching the sunlight in a way that made them almost glow with an irresistible charm. The villagers often admired the apples from a distance, but something about the tree unsettled them. Its roots spread out across the ground like the tentacles of a monstrous creature, strangling the plants that grew around it. One day, a young man named Adarsh arrived in the village. He was kind-hearted, hard-working, and always eager to help those in need. The villagers quickly grew fond of him, seeking his advice and enjoying his company. One evening, as the sun set, Adarsh wandered through the village and found himself drawn to the mysterious apple tree. Its beauty captivated him, and before he could stop himself, he plucked an apple from its branches and took a bite. The taste was enchanting, but as he ate, he began to feel a strange fog clouding his mind. A sense of anger and resentment took hold of him. He grew irritated with the villagers, finding fault in everything they did and saying things he would never have said before. It was the tree's poison slowly seeping into his soul. As the days went by, Adarsh's behavior became darker. The gentle, compassionate man the villagers had known was now full of bitterness and scorn. He criticized others for their happiness, blamed them for his own misfortunes, and pushed away those who once supported him. His friends noticed the change and tried to comfort him, but he only grew more distant, convinced that no one understood his pain. The tree's poison had taken hold, feeding on his negative thoughts and isolating him from everyone who cared about him. The villagers watched in sorrow as Adarsh transformed. They knew that he had fallen under the spell of the poisonous apple tree, a symbol of toxic influences that feed on negativity and spread their poison to anyone who comes near. One day, an elder named Bhishma, who had been a close friend to Adarsh, decided to visit him. He approached with kindness and wisdom, hoping to help Adarsh see the damage he had caused to himself and others. Bhishma spoke gently about the dangers of holding on to bitterness and resentment, telling stories of people who had let such emotions poison their hearts. He warned that, like poison, negativity eats away at one's soul and destroys the joy in life. At first, Adarsh resisted, unwilling to believe that he had changed. But as Bhishma spoke, something stirred within him. He saw fragments of the man he had once been, the loving, joyful Adarsh who had cared for others. Bhishma's words were like a mirror, reflecting the version of himself that he had lost. Slowly, the fog in Adarsh's mind began to lift, and he recognized the damage he had done, not only to his friendships but to his own heart. Filled with remorse, Adarsh knew what he had to do. He went to the apple tree, stood before it, and acknowledged the power it had over him. But this time, instead of picking another apple, he dug his hands into the earth and began to uproot the tree. It was a difficult task, but Adarsh was determined. With each root he tore from the ground, he felt the poisonous influence loosening its grip on his heart. He knew that to heal, he had to remove the source of the poison from his life. Finally, the tree lay fallen, its dark roots exposed. The villagers gathered, rejoicing in the tree's destruction, that its hold on their lives was gone. Adarsh returned to them, humbled and regretful. He apologized for the hurt he had caused, understanding that healing would take time. His journey of redemption had only just begun, but the villagers welcomed him back with open arms, reminding him that true friends never give up on each other. In the end, Adarsh learned a powerful lesson. Appearances can be deceiving, and even the most beautiful things can be poisonous. He promised himself that he would guard his heart and mind, for he now understood that toxic influences could never lead to happiness. True peace, he realized, could only come from removing negativity from one's life and embracing the love and support that surrounded him.